now in session. Welcome, guys. This is day 3 of Web Fundamentals. Let's go over the schedule really quick to see where we're at. Yesterday, we covered inline block. We presented our flags. That was an exciting demonstration that I saw. I saw a lot of cool tricks I had not seen before. So congratulations. Round of applause to you guys. Today, we're going to go over a property called flex. It is the now recommended policy. So we will, did I say policy? It is the recommended method for creating, well, we'll get into that in a second. No need to divulge too much. And then we're going to do a similar project at the end of the day like we did yesterday. Break off into groups, and it will be a fun activity as well. So let's go ahead and get into this morning's algorithm. We touched on this concept a little bit yesterday. It was about if statements. So as we know, we have a for loop, which is able to count through an array or a list of numbers. And we also have this tool called an if statement. An if statement is a logic check to see if something is true. So it's either A or B, true or false, 1 or 0. So let's go ahead and do some T diagrams. I pulled these from the platform. So let me go ahead and share my screen, my Visual Studio Code screen. Okay. So we're going to do some T diagrams together this morning, and then we're going to split off into a group and do the last one together. Okay, so the first one is called always sunny. All right, so let's T diagram this together. Where is the drawing tool? Okay. So as we can see here, we have some variables, and this is just for the first one, as you can see here. Let's bring this out of the way so that we don't get distracted. Okay, so let's write out our variables. Who can tell me which variables we should list on the left here?
Is sunny.
Okay, that's our first one. That's pretty obvious. Let's do that. Is sunny. And what's the value?
True.
Value is true. All right. And what's the next variable?
Temperature.
Okay. And the value?
45.
Okay. What's the next variable?
Is raining.
Is raining.
Okay. And what type of value is it?
Boolean.
Boolean.
Okay, you're right. That's true. And what is the value?
False.
Right. Okay. We're still on the easy part. Lastly, what is the type of variable that we're seeing on line 7, and what's the value?
String.
Okay, it is a string. All right, and let's write out the variable here. What to, oh, that's not right. Bring. And what's the value?
I should bring.
Yes, I should bring. Okay, now we're going to get into the function. So when we see here, if is sunny, and it is by itself, just like this, what does that mean?
If it's true.
Right. If you see a variable and it is within the parameter section here, within the parentheses, without an equal sign, it is asking if is sunny is true. Okay. So have that in mind whenever you're checking if statements. All right. So let's go ahead and create a console here as well. Let me go ahead and draw that.
So you're saying that if is sunny is true regardless of what the value of sunny was set to be,
Yeah.
right?
Yes. So if it is asking if is sunny by itself, this is checking if is sunny is true. Okay, so let's go ahead and continue on with our T diagram. So if is sunny, is it true?
Yeah.
Right. We can see here right now, the variable is sunny is true. Okay. So if it is true, we enter in the curly bracket section, line 10. Now, this says what to bring plus equals sunglasses. So what does plus equals mean?
So you just added to the value of what to bring that was set earlier.
Yes, so you are adding to the value of what to bring. So this is saying what to bring equals itself what to bring. So we see that already. What to bring plus sunglasses, comma, space. So now, because this is true, we are going to add to what to bring. All right, so let's go ahead and augment that. I'm going to put a comma here. The next value, I'm going to just write it on the next line. So now what to bring is
Sunglasses.
I should bring space sunglasses, comma, space. Because you are adding to the string. You are concatenating the string. You're bringing them together now. So now that we've passed this if statement, we've added to what to bring. Now let's move on to the next part. What is the next part now?
The next if statement.
Right. We passed this if statement. It's checked. We have a couple more if statements apparently. The next if statement says if temperature is less than 50. All right. So let's check what is temperature right now? It is 45. Yep. So is 45 less than 50? Yes. So we are going to add again to what to bring. So what to bring is going to change again. So let's go ahead and do that. I'm going to add another comma, which means there's a new meaning to what to bring. So now I should bring sunglasses, comma, a coat, comma, and don't want to forget here the quotations. All right, so now we have a new string. This is the third value for what to bring. And so now that we've passed this, we are moving on to line 15. If is raining. And what is the value of is raining right now?
False.
False. So then, what do we do with line 16?
You skip over it.
You skip over it because If it's false, we don't do what is within these curly brackets. So that's the condition. So this condition is not met because it's false, because this is asking if is raining is true, because by itself is asking if it's true. So then we skip this over. Now, what is the final part here? We've gone through every if statement now.
Yeah.
So there's no if statements anymore to go over. So now let's see here what we do. What do we do with line 18?
You just add it regardless.
You just add it regardless. There is no condition. This is just saying now just add to what to bring. All right, so now final value is I should bring sunglasses, a coat, and a smile. Okay, now we have the final condition of what to bring, the final value of what to bring, excuse me. And so what do we do with line 20?
You print on the console.
Yes, so now we print on the console the same statement that we have here. So if I can copy it, nope, I gotta write it again. All right, so let's go ahead and do that. I should bring sunglasses, a coat, and a smile. All right, first one done. Does anyone have any questions? Pretty clear?
Nope.
Okay.
Just for technical terms, the quotations will never actually print onto the console. It'll just be the full sentence.
Let's check that. I'm going to clear. I'm going to just, oh, no, I need to mouse over. Yes, I'm keeping it in a string because I'm just doing it by habit. But really, it's printing the string as this in the console. I should bring sunglasses, a coat, and a smile. Okay. Thank you for asking. That's a good question. Now, let's move on to the next one. Prepare for countdown. All right, let's do this one, and then we'll break off into groups for the next one.
And by the way, if any one of you like trying to copy some code from the platform and see this kind of like red thing highlighted, is because sometimes the platform have some kind of like weird character that you cannot really see in the VS Code. So what you have to do is just to remove them if you found that there's some bugs over there. Yeah. And sometimes I would just do a Control F so that I can just replace all the, yeah, all these red things, usually some weird character.
Yeah. All right, I'll do that later. We can still see the function.
Yep.
Okay, let's draw this again. Where is my drawing tool? T. And so I'm just going to write var and val for variable and value here. And so now we have a for loop. Maybe we can clear this up here. Format document. Here we go. Okay, so now we have a for loop. So what's the first thing that we do here now? We want to go look through our entire function and try to list some variables that we see here. So what are the variables that we see?
I.
Okay, yep, that's good. Let's do that. And what does I stand?
Value of 10.
What's that?
Value of 10.
Right, value of 10. Okay. And so we have our I on our for loop. It equals 10. Now, while I is greater than 0. Now, we just said it was 10, so we know it's greater than 0. So we're going to move on to the next section. We're only going to look at the very last area here, I minus minus, after we go through the curly bracket area here. So let's leave that for the end, and let's check the if statement. If I, and what does this mean? This exclamation mark equal sign.
Not equal to.
Less than equal.
Yes. So let's make a note of that. Okay. If I is not equal to 2, console log I. So is I equal to 2?
Nope.
Nope. So we're going to go ahead and do that. We're going to console log I. So let's go ahead and make a console box. Okay. And so we're going to print here I. So what is I right now?
10.
Yes, sir.
10.
Yep. So it is 10. All right. And so once we pass this if statement, if we pass it, do we check this else?
No.
No, because we've already met this if statement. Any else statement that follows up this if statement is going to be ignored. This else statement is only going to be triggered if this if statement is not met. Okay, so then we skip this area, we skip this curly bracket, we go back to the for loop, and then we decrement I by 1. I minus means -1, just like plus would mean +1. So then I becomes 9. All right. Is I equal to 2? No, we just said it was 9. So we're going to console log I. I is 9. And we do this until I is equal to 2, right? Because this pattern is going to happen until we get to this point, I equals to 2. So let's go ahead and do that. It's going to be 8, and then we go to the console. It's going to be 8. Then we go to 7 here. It's going to be 7, 7, 6, 6, 5, 5. It's like we're actually doing a countdown here. 4, 3, 3. Now we're just about to 2. Okay, so we console log 3, and now we decrement I to 2. Now we go to this if statement. Is I equal to 2 now? Yes. So what do? We pass this. We're no longer gonna go into this if statement. So what do we do instead?
Move on
Console log
jump to the
ignition.
next one.
Yes, now it goes into this else because I is equal to 2. So we're going to say console log ignition. So let's go ahead and do that. Ignition. And finally, we bring I to 1. Okay. I is equal to 1. It is still greater than 0, right? So we're going to go ahead and console log 1. And then as soon as we reach 1, we go back to the for loop. Is I, and then we decrement down to 0 again. Is I greater than 0?
No.
Right,
Nope.
because 0 is not greater than 0. 0 is equal to 0. So then we exit this for loop, and then we console log liftoff, because now that we've exited the for loop, we go to the next line. So now we say liftoff. Okay, great. So now we've done this. We've done the second one. I'm going to show you the third one, and then I'm going to give you guys a bonus problem that I've created here. It's just slightly different. And I'm going to paste it in the Discord chat. Okay. The bonus one I'm going to paste in the Discord chat. Are we doing on time? Great. So this is going to be count positives. You guys are going to build the code here by yourselves. And the way I want you guys to do this is to have different assignments to your team here. So the person that feels the most confident building the code or giving direction, I don't want you to be the person writing it out on your computer. I want the person called the driver, the one writing the code, to be writing the code if you don't feel confident enough to do this on your own by yourself. Okay, and it's fine. We're at different levels anyways. I want you guys to work in teams. You're gonna have to do this in the workspace anyway.
So a
So-
little more information about what it means by driver or navigator, something like that. So usually in a group work, usually we will have 3 different roles. Okay, 3 different roles. Role number 1, there will be a driver. So the driver is going to be the person who share the screen and also who type in the code. So if you feel like you're not 100% about what's going on, this is actually like a role that you should be taking part in, because if you are a driver, you don't need to think too much, but you are able to type in your code by yourself because someone else will guide you. So that is the driver, the one who share the screen and the one who code. And the other role, you can have like more than one person, that will be the navigators. Okay, so navigators are the person who is going to guide the driver of like what's going on, what you should be typing. So if you feel like, okay, I'm good in coding and I think I'm good in also like helping people, so I think you should be the navigators. So navigators are the person who guide others, who guide the drivers. So you can have 1 navigators in a group, or you can have more than 1 navigators. Okay, and the last role that we have is the presenters. So for each group, let's say you are the type of person that feel like you learn a little better when you have some complete solution, but you feel comfortable in like presenting things, doing T-diagram, then you should be the presenters. So presenters will more like sit back and look at the code and try to understand what's going on, but you should still be like voicing out if you feel like, oh, I'm not sure what's going on in this line, so that the navigators can help you or the driver can help you. So 3 roles, remember that. 1 driver, 1 presenters, and 1 or more than 1 navigators.
Yes, thank you for that, Heidi.
Sure.
And one more thing here, if you guys want to do a bonus round here, if you have some time left, and we do have plenty of time this morning, I've added something here to go ahead and see if we can make this print negative values as well. Okay, so there's a couple things you're missing. There's more than one thing to make this work. And if we don't get this, I'll go over some rules at the very end that will help us. All right, so let's go ahead and create these breakout rooms now. I'll stop sharing, pause the recording.
So
Okay, let's get started. Go ahead. And it's easier to draw if you use, I know Zoom's kind of a learning curve, but there's this straight line instead of the just mouse draw. Yeah, and then there's the text, so you can type with text like you see me do, instead of
Where would that be at?
It's somewhere near that draw tool. Let me see if I can see it on my end here.
Hector just has a very steady hand.
Okay, Hector, you got it then.
Yeah.
You're like a surgeon.
Yeah, I got it up here. So, so we're gonna go ahead and put variable here. Can everybody see my stuff here?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay, sorry. Give me 1 second. And then value here. Shoot. Can I move what I write here? Or no, not really.
It's a little bit hard. You gotta edit, undo. or
Okay.
Yeah.
It's all good. I'm gonna leave the variable there. Sorry about that. But so the way that we did it was that we went ahead and we started the for loop right here. And what we did was we declare a variable named I for index, which will be starting at index 0. And just for visual purposes, we're gonna go ahead and put these here. 4, 5, 6. Cool. And we're gonna be running this for loop until this condition is no longer true, which we know that the length of the array is 7. So this equates to I until I is less than 7, or until that is wrong, and then we're going to be incrementing by I. So we went ahead and we ran this if statement right here saying if the current index of the array is greater than 0, then we must know that it's a positive number. So while we're over here, we're going to go ahead and say if number at index 0, which is 3, is greater than 0, we can say that positive gets counted. But before we jump into that, sorry, I forgot to add the count positive. So count positive variable here, I'm just going to shorten it, is 0. Numbers, or the array of numbers, is going to be 3, or better yet, sorry. Give me 1 second, sorry about that. So cool. So we're gonna go ahead and say 3. Yep, thank you so much. 3, 4, -2, 7, -16, or 16, sorry. -8, and 0. Cool. So we ran the first one and we can say that this is true. So we're going to go ahead and increment count positives because we can determine that the first array, or array 0, is 3. So we're going to go ahead and say count positive is going to be incremented to 1. We're going to keep running the loop, and we're going to check now condition number 2, or array at index 1, which is 4. So we're going to go ahead and also increment it since it's greater than. Once we get to index number 2, which is -2 right here, we do notice that it's a negative number. So we're going to exclude it, and we will not be incrementing positive. We're going to go ahead and number 3, it's 7. We're going to go ahead and just increment this count to 3 now, and so forth. Then once again here to 4. Once we run the array again, we can see that index 5 is -8, so we exclude it. And once we get to the last index, which is 6, we can see that it's 0. 0 is not positive or negative, so we're going to also skip it. And then once we get to number 7, we can say that this is no longer true. I is no longer less than 7, so we end up finishing our array. And we're going to go ahead and just console log. And we're going to go ahead and text and write, there are 4 positive values. And that is what the computer will log.
Nice. Very well done, guys. Round of applause.
Yeah, sorry about the handwriting. Not a pro in this.
Hey, it's
editing,
better than I
so.
can do. I can't do that. So well done. Hey, before we go out to break, let me just share something with you guys for 1 minute here. It is just one extra rule to add. So we have the if-else statement. We also have the else-if statement. So the else-if is a very specific thing. So when we went over the if statement, we said, if this is true, if it's not true, then do the else. But this else-if is a specific else. So it's like, if this isn't true, then check this condition to see if this is true. This is like an else, but with a specific condition. Then if this isn't met, then do the else. Okay, so just have that in mind. This is another way to write an else statement. It's more specific. Okay, so that being said, thank you guys for participating in this morning's Algos. Take a nice 10-minute break. We'll be here at 10 after, and we'll go ahead and get started on today's day with Flex. Okay, thank you guys. Any questions? I'm sorry, I didn't ask that.
I think we're good.
Okay. Dia, did you have any questions?
No, I didn't have any questions, but I just wanted to talk about the bonus that you asked for. It's gonna count the zero value as negative unless we put it as else if. So we just added another value for zero.
Yeah, you can use that. Well, what you can do is you had to have created another variables that you had to like create count negatives and then add that to the console to print that in the console.
Yeah,
and add to it. Yeah, using the else and else if. All right, so thank you guys. Let's go ahead and take a quick break. We'll see you guys soon.
Thank you.